In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most incredible fish on the entire planet, the salmon. Seriously, this creature is defined by an epic journey that spans continents, and it plays such a vital role in its environment, you could almost call it a true athlete of the aquatic world. So, what really makes the salmon so special? Well, it's this incredible ability to live in two totally different worlds. I mean, think about it. The freshwater rivers where it's born, and then the huge saltwater ocean where it grows up. Which brings us to the big question, right? Alright, so let's get into it. How does one fish manage to conquer two completely different worlds? Well, the secret is all in its unique biology. Okay, so let's dive into the science a little bit. Biologists actually have a special name for this kind of lifestyle. It's called anadromous. Kind of cool, right? It actually comes from Greek words that mean upward running, which is just the perfect way to describe their amazing journey from the ocean all the way back upstream. And living in these two different habitats, that is the absolute key to understanding salmon. They're part of a pretty exclusive club. Only about 100 fish species in the whole world can pull this off. So how do they do it? The secret is this incredible process called osmoregulation. Think of it like this. In freshwater, their body is basically a salt-absorbing machine. But when they hit the ocean, everything flips. Special little pumps in their gills literally switch direction and start pumping out all the excess salt so they can survive. It's like a biological superpower for real. So where in the world can you find these amazing fish? Well, they're pretty much all across the northern hemisphere. They love the cool waters along the coasts of North America, from Alaska all the way down to California. And you'll also find them across the Atlantic in places like Canada, Scotland, and Norway. They are truly global species of the North. Okay, so this journey from a tiny little egg to this powerful adult fish, it's just wild. It happens in a series of really dramatic transformations. Yeah, the salmon life cycle is a straight-up epic. It all starts with these tiny eggs buried safely in the river gravel. From there, they hatch into what are called alevin, and they're still attached to their yolk sacs for food. Then, they grow into parr, which have these cool camouflage stripes to help them hide in the stream, sometimes for years. And then comes the magic. They transform into silvery smolts, and their bodies completely re-engineer themselves to handle salt water. After spending a few years at sea as adults, packing on almost all their body weight, that ancient instinct kicks in, and it's time to head home as a spawner. And when it is time to reproduce, the numbers are just staggering. I mean, a single female can lay anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 eggs. It's like this massive bet on the future, just to give the next generation a fighting chance. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Even with all those thousands of eggs, the odds are just brutal. Between predators, tough river conditions, you name it, less than 1% of those eggs will actually survive to become adults that make it back to spawn. It is, without a doubt, one of nature's toughest journeys. So that final act of their life, it's all driven by instinct. The female will actually use her tail to dig a little nest in the gravel of the riverbed. This nest is called a redd, and that's where she deposits her eggs, creating a safe little spot for the next generation to start. And, for most Pacific salmon species, this journey home, it's a one-way trip. After they spawn, they die. It's the ultimate sacrifice. But their death isn't the end of the story. It's actually a gift. As their bodies break down, they release all these essential nutrients back into the river, basically fueling the entire ecosystem. Right, so this whole cycle of life and death is exactly what makes salmon so ridiculously important. They are, quite literally, the backbone of their entire ecosystem. In fact, their role is so critical that scientists have a special name for them, a keystone species. And it's a perfect name. Just like the keystone that holds up an entire stone arch, if you were to take salmon out of the equation, the whole ecosystem could actually collapse. So many other species depend on them to survive. And man, do they provide a feast. Just think about it. On land, you've got bears and wolves relying on that salmon run to fatten up for the winter. You look up, and eagles are feasting on them. And then in the water, everyone from orcas and seals to even other fish like trout, they all depend on salmon. They are the link that connects the ocean, the rivers, and the forests. So we've talked about their journey, but just how tough are these fish? Let's wrap up with some mind-blowing facts that really show you the scale of their power and endurance. Alright, check this out. To get past waterfalls, they can jump up to 2 meters straight into the air. On their big migration home, they can travel up to 50 kilometers a day. That's more than a marathon every single day swimming against the current. Some salmon in the Yukon River travel over 3,000 kilometers inland. How do they find their way? They use an incredibly keen sense of smell to find the exact stream where they were born. And maybe the wildest fact of all, once they enter that fresh water to spawn, they stop eating. Completely. They do that whole journey on an empty stomach. So you see, the salmon's journey is this powerful, beautiful link. It connects the deep ocean with the inland forests, and it's a connection that sustains so much life. Which kind of leaves us with one last really important question to think about. Alright, that is it this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.